Hi, boys and girls. We are here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the president, and I hope that you enjoyed the video that I posted. I'm looking forward to getting to see some of your answers that you put in through the video. And I just thought that it was a good way to kind of talk about who the president is, what the president is supposed to do, what his job is. So what we're going to do is we are going to read an article, and this article is called President of the United States, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, when you're reading this article, I want you to think about your type one. So I want you to think about the qualities that you said were important in a president. I want you to think about the book that we read. So think about some of the things that the people who are running for class president, what are some of the things that they learned? What are some of the things that they did? And lastly, I would like you to think about the video that you just watched, where you got to learn a little bit about becoming the president. So, President of the United States, what house is that? Do you know? I think you do. Every 4 years, the people of the United States vote for the country's leader. The winner of that election becomes the nation's president. The president may be a man or a woman. He or she will live and work in the White House in Washington, D.C. What does the president do? Here are some examples. The president is the leader of the American government. The president suggests laws he thinks the country needs. The president may work with the members of the U.S. Congress to get his ideas turned into laws. So if you remember last week, we talked about the three branches of government, and we talked about how Congress is in charge of, coming up with laws, and they are in charge of trying to figure out what laws might be good for our country, and then the president is able to either veto that law or pass the law. However, the president is also able to suggest laws that he thinks the country might need. So it might be a situation that he's like, I think this needs to happen, or it could be a law that maybe he goes into becoming president having promised something, and so he wants to try to fulfill that promise. But regardless, just remember, he can't just pass any law he wants, though, right? Because they work hand in hand. They work together. The three branches of government work together. So he can't just say, I'm going to pass this law and no one can stop me. That's not how it works. The president appoints people to help run the government. These people include judges and leaders of government departments. Often the president's choices have to be approved by the US Congress. Now, if you remember, we also talked about this when we were reading the other article on the three branches of government. We talked about how the president is the one who chooses the people in the judicial branch, some of those people, and they sit on the Supreme Court. And we said that we don't actually vote for the people in the judicial branch. However, we vote for our president and we vote for the people who are in Congress. So we kind of have our voices heard by doing that. And the president has to get his choice of people approved, because think about it, if he only picked people that he liked and he wasn't a great guy, think about how that could go wrong pretty quickly. So it does also need to get approved. The president is commander-in-chief of the country's military. That means the president is responsible for the actions of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard. So obviously, he is not currently fighting in the military. Now, some presidents have fought in the military as well. However, he is obviously in the White House, but he is responsible for telling them what to do. So he's the one who tells them if they need to go somewhere or come and help with something or something like that. So that is part of what his job is. During any one day, an American president can do many things. The president can speak with advisors, give a speech, or sign a bill into law. The president may meet with leaders of other countries. In the evening, the president sometimes attends special events. Being president of the United States is a difficult, complicated job. So I want you to kind of just be thinking about remember, these are just some of the many, 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 many things that the president is in charge of doing. There's all kinds of things. And obviously, the president does different things depending on the time. Right now, with what's going on with, coronavirus and everything like that, the president is in charge of doing a lot of different things that he may not normally do on just a regular day when we're not trying to figure this kind of thing out. So, the president kind of has to be adaptable and he has to say, okay, well, now I'm going to have to try to figure this situation out. Just like we all are being adaptable right now. And you guys are doing a great job of that. So these are just kind of some of the things, some of the many, many things that a president does. So continue to think about those qualities that you mentioned in the type 1 writing. Think about how those might help him do some of these things. So for example, I said that I think that being wise is an important quality of a president. And that can help him do a lot of things. That can help him choose these people wisely. That can help him hear when he's suggesting laws that he thinks the country needs. That can help him suggest wise laws and not just suggest laws that are not going to be helpful for the citizens. That could help him, you know, speak with advisors and speak with people that are, maybe smarter than him. Or another thing that I said is I think that it's important that the president is a very good speaker and a good leader, like that he's able to speak clearly and wisely. Well, that could help right here, giving a speech. It's important that he's able to get his thoughts across clearly. So think about one of your qualities that you chose. And you don't need to write this down. There's nowhere for you to write this down. I just want you to think about it. You can share it with someone at home if you would like to. Think about how one of those qualities can help him do one of these things. So just continue to think about that. We'll chat a little bit more about that in the next few days. I have loved reading with you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.